Alright, here is my review, improvised as usual, of Atomic Heart. I would call it a solid AA game with what feels like AAA ambitions. It has really good graphics in some spots, and other parts, not so much. But like RoboCop Rogue City, I would say that the good graphics are surface level, because very few things actually react to what you're doing. So it just, I don't know. It's okay. It's nice to look at, but when you get close, you start to see that it's always going to look like that. Their people models are okay. The hair on them, and their animations, but graphical capabilities and frame rates and stuff aren't super important to me. So I'm not going to spend too much time reviewing that, and especially because this is this studio's first game, I believe. This is Mundfish or Mundfish. Don't quite know how they pronounce it, but it came out 2021, 2020, early in the 2020s, and world events being such as they are, this game's development and stuff was not complete. When it launched, it had a lot of problems. So there are a lot of glitched and missable trophies, which they have since patched. You can get the platinum now, but if you do it, I suggest following a guide. I followed a guide on Steam, but because this game was so glitched and a lot of the websites that make guides didn't touch it, it's really hard to find a cohesive guide that lists everything. The Steam one works, but we'll use the example Burning Ears. That is to get 70 chirpers, which are little audio stopwatches that you can listen to. And if you miss them, you'll have to play through the game again, which I had to do on New Game Plus, which leads to a complaint that I wish you could skip some of the cutscenes. They are long, and I should have used a guide from the beginning. But going back to that guide, and the point I was going to make, is it'll say, go upstairs, door, Burning Ears number 8. And if you want to know which Burning Ears specifically that is, you have to scroll down to the bottom of the Steam guide, find the name, and keep track of a checklist that way. Most people, I'm assuming, are playing with a phone or laptop open, so scrolling while playing, not so fun. It just would be nice to have that be in the list. Like instead of saying Burning Ears 10 on this table, say Burning Ears, uh, we aren't going to have to work anymore. That's the name of the chirper, I guess. And that would help people keep track of whatever. This is a review of the game, not a review of that guy's guide. So anyway, in this game, you have a upgradable arsenal. You can craft weapons. On those weapons, you can upgrade them, and you can upgrade everything that each weapon has a specific amount of upgrades. Some of them don't have any, like the railgun. Everything that's available in the list you can upgrade. There are multiple options on some of the lists, so scope, the element, organic or robotic targets, etc., magazine capacity, all of that can be messed with. You can also craft consumables, which will restore your health, restore your power, give you speed boosts, damage boosts, and other things. You can craft ammo for your guns. You can craft cartridges, which are an elemental type boost to your weapon, which I will explain how to use, which is going to be kind of pointless because it's buried in a review of this game. But I could not figure out how to use cartridges when everybody online's like, just go to your menu and highlight the blank space and put a cartridge there. Ugh. Yeah, I should have read see those things on the screen? Those are called words. I should have read them and I would have known how to do it. Anyway, you have storage, your backpack, which can carry a certain amount of stuff, and then you have, I believe it's an unlimited storage, and this is just all the garbage that I've collected throughout playing the game, and you can keep track of that. You can also disassemble things for parts, which I never really had to do. I played on Armageddon from the beginning because I did not play the game until after it was patched and I could get the platinum. And it was hard at first until I started to unlock more of my powers, which are another thing you can upgrade. You have your powers, which is your glove hand. You can upgrade it to shock, freeze. You can lift with telekinesis. You can spray polymer that makes elemental damage amplified. And I actually never used this one. I might have lived longer if I did, but so I don't know how it works, but you can, it's a shield. Then you have power, which your powers and some of your weapons will use, your energy weapons and stuff will use power. You can upgrade how much power you have, how fast it recharges, what type of attacks recharge it, etc. You can upgrade your character, health regeneration, how much health they get from med packs, speed, double jump, your backpack can increase, your not when you're not using your iron sights or your scopes, just unaimed shooting is going to be hip firing is going to be more accurate. You can increase your speed and all that. So you have some variety with how you want to play the game. Eventually you'll get to the point where you have enough points that you can just buy pretty much everything and be maxed out on all stats. The weapons are okay. I'll show you a few of them in action here. There's a decent sized arsenal, I guess. I don't really like many of the ranged weapons in this game because they're slow to reload. They don't sound really all that good to me. The guns just don't have an oomph to them. They feel and sound weak. Like the shots are all quiet, and um, the meat of the combat in this game, to me, is melee, and I usually never go melee. I only have one melee weapon that I'm going to show off here, but this is the Zvedochka, I think is how it's pronounced. It's my favorite weapon in the game. It's got two, I believe, electromagnetic saw blades that you can just kind of aim and hack everything apart. And it is a storm of metal and electricity, and it clears rooms fast. And I primarily used melee the whole game. That's why my storage has so much ammo in it, is I barely ever use the guns. Combat itself is alright. Your character can feel sluggish, like moving sideways. You can't side strafe at a decent speed. That's as fast as you can go. Forward, you can go faster. You can kind of double dash. That's an okay move. Other than that, mobility, it feels confining a lot of times. Because a lot of times these good graphics have a problem of, like, I would get stuck on a leaf or a pot or something in the middle of combat, and it's not easy to vault over stuff. Like, see how you vertically jump and then your guy kind of slid forward. Some items and things they slow you way down. So battles can get kind of eh. The combat is okay. Like I said, I'm trying not to hold too much against this game because it is a first effort, and it's, in my opinion, a very solid effort. I enjoy the game, and it has a semi-open world. Like I said, there's a lot of areas that will lock you out once you go there and explore it. It's done. It's got some puzzle elements. I am not a fan of the puzzle elements. It doesn't force stealth upon you much, except when you're out in the world, there's these cameras that they're vital to the game, so you can't completely permanently destroy them. And when they're on, it's kind of like a wanted level in Grand Theft Auto, where it'll just send enemies after you until you escape. So there's no pure freedom of running around and exploring, because the areas, since those cameras are vital to the game, there's always going to be a way for you to get spotted. And because those cameras are hooked to a network of these little repair robots, most of the time, you can't permanently turn them off. Some people have said that the thing that turns them off temporarily, because this game has a lot of glitches and errors, just never turned back on. So it can permanently turn off the repair robots and open up areas, but you can lock yourself out of collectibles doing that. So I never did it, never messed with it, didn't want to take the chance. So like I said, it doesn't force stealth upon you. You don't have to crouch walk and stuff to get through those areas, but if you're going to stay and get in an engagement out in the open world, odds are you'll just exhaust your resources and die. And that seems to be what it's designed to do, to keep you moving. The open world itself, it has a problem with that a lot of open world games, in my opinion, have, is where the exploration feels pointless. There's collectibles, which you need to get for the trophy, but they don't do anything for the game except expand the lore. Which the lore is okay. It's an alternate history, 1955 USSR. I believe the Soviet Union is like the greatest or second greatest or one of the greatest superpowers in the world. And they are launching this collective is what it's called, and they are going to link every person on Earth through their thoughts, and everybody will be equal and all that. So naturally, as you can see by the corpses and explosions and damage everywhere, that's a great plan, and it's going to go well. But the the world or the story itself is okay, just very typical robots doing things that they're not programmed to do because someone messed with them or they figured out they're programming a loophole in it or something. I must admit that because I'm improvising this review and trying to talk on all the stuff I wanted to talk on, I forgot if I was making a point before I went off on a tangent about the story. Oh, yes. The world, there's no unique weapons, no unique bosses. There's nothing that makes you want to go explore. It's a large, empty world. Because even the collectibles out in the world, I think there's like 8 of them in the world. You can walk around and you can get gun parts and stuff from chests, but you get enough of those fighting enemies and stuff that I was never wanting for anything. Only in the very beginning of the game did I feel strapped for resources, like I was surviving, like getting 2 shotgun shells at a time and only having my axe and no med kits. It was a challenge, but eventually I felt like I was just playing a normal game on a normal difficulty. So Armageddon mode isn't backbreakingly hard and frustrating like some games impossible modes can be. Overall, I would recommend giving Atomic Heart a try, especially now that a lot of the problems have been patched. So even if you're not going to go for the trophies, the game is fully playable from beginning to end without a lot of problems. It's a little sad for me because I'm a big physical media collector, so I know if for whatever reason I lose internet access forever and have to play this game off of the disc, I'm going to have the glitched version, which since I have the Platinum Trophy now, I don't think it'll matter too much because I believe you could beat the game anyway. But if you're looking for a pretty decent title, kill some time, feels a lot like Bioshock or Prey or System Shock or whatever. It's inspired by a lot of those games. It's pretty much the same thing, bit slower pace. You can tell there's a lot of growing pains that the game went through. I believe when the trailers came out, it had a classic Ubisoft move, which was have a awesome trailer with the best graphics possible, and then the game came out, and it still looks very nice, but it does not look like those original trailers. Like even the liquid polymer and stuff looked so good in those trailers, and I believe that there was even greater variety of enemies in the game, which I have complained about not having a variety of enemies in games before. I like seeing something different. Changing the variance of the enemy I'm fighting, like making a mutant a fire mutant or a poison mutant or whatever, it's okay, but it's a cheap way out of having different looking enemies. But overall, the end of my review is going to be that this game is pretty fun. I like it. I'm glad I went through it. Obviously, I'm doing. If I do a platinum review, I doubt that I'm ever going to really hate the game, but this game was a surprise. I tried it when it first came out, and I was like, I'll come back to it. And then I started having a lot of fun with it, and it clicked with me, and I am glad I bought it, and I recommend it to you.
Gotcha, kid. Oh, crap.
Let's go. Charles, how did Cheriton Zaharov die?
Under mysterious circumstances. Dr. Wolf is...
Are you serious?
Feel free to take any available seat. The train is departing in 10 seconds.
Wow, we just witnessed a real miracle of science.
The train is now departing. Next stop, Solnit.
Подойди поближе, мечта. Подойди поближе, мечта. Чудо так Парижа.
Authorization. Major.
Was that a civilian robot? For real, that thing. Was that a civilian?
So, what will it be, Major?
Oh, 762! 700!
Okay.
Will be the best outcome for everyone.
Charles, why did that monster, you know, the red polymer thing, the data storage, why did it look like a person?
Dr. Sechenov's idea. He wanted it to move independently.
Why would a data storage need to walk around? Fucking Tin Man! Get over here!
right nature, you...
Not now. Let's just not talk for a while, okay?
Sergei.
The restroom.
Leave this place!
Major P3, I'm waiting for you in the Pavlov complex. Everything is ready for your arrival.
I'll be...
A complaint. Listen, I am filing a complaint
About what?
about your Stockhausen's disgusting behavior.
I'm just getting started.
I stopped by the archive yesterday, and everything there is so automated. We won't have to work at all pretty soon. We'll just sit there.
The launch of Collective is
I stopped by the archive yesterday, and everything there is so automated. We won't have to work at all pretty soon.